Thanks for watching the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk Scranton Prep Cavaliers cross country. Joining us is the head coach, Jeff Dorunda, here on the show. And Jeff, a great season for the guys and a pretty good season for the girls as well. Let's talk about this cross country season because it comes to a close quickly with districts and then states. But tell us about this season so far.
It's been a blur, to tell you the truth. We like you said, our boys have really run excellent this year. We have a lot of depth there, and we've been a little nicked up with injuries here and there, but we're fortunate enough to be able to hold some guys out of races and still be, a very strong team. So that's why we've just been very conservative with our boys, just looking at the big picture. And to tell you the truth, we haven't really put the full product out there yet, and hopefully this week coming up will be the first time we do that.
Jeff, when we talk about the guys for Scranton Prep at 18-0, tell us, are you having one or two dominant runners, or are you just kind of cleaning house with all the places? Like you mentioned, that depth. Tell us about are the times pretty close amongst the guys?
Yeah, I mean, they are. I tell you, league-wise, we have a few dominant runners. The first race of the year, we probably face our best individual competition, Nathan Morgan from Lakeland, and he outkicked our Kyle Perry, who's been running number one for most of the season, and since then it's been pretty smooth with Kyle Perry, the junior, Patrick Feeney, who's been becoming more and more confident in every race and coming on later in the season. He's run, we went to Invitational at Carlisle High School Invitational, and Kyle actually went down sick, and Pat stepped up and ran like 16:20, and that's the fastest we've had anyone run this year. So there's been some guys there, and we have a lot of the same faces as last year. Ryan Burke, he's been right on them, and he went down for 2 weeks with some tendonitis, and he got treated. And kind of our philosophy is, when in doubt, hold them out. We really have our eye on the big picture, and asking a kid to race a 5K once a week, sometimes twice a week, is a lot. So we've been very conservative with as much as we can, and then so Ryan Burke, he actually today was his first race back, and he didn't lose a step, which is a good sign for us. And Ben Sullivan, he's been very strong, also a junior. We have a lot of juniors, one senior in our top 7, so that's a good sign. And then Ben Evans, who was injured early in the year, and he was actually one of our best guys last year, and he's been coming on progressively. And I think he'll be ready to go when the time comes. I mean, he ran 9:50 in a 2-mile in track on about, honestly, 5 or 6 weeks training. So, he doesn't need much to get him in great shape.
Jeff Dorunda joining us here on the John Mendola Show. He's the head coach of the boys and the girls at Scranton Prep. And Jeff, there's been such a strong tradition for many, many years at Scranton Prep, and some team titles in the state, and guys that just continue to work hard. But people may not realize that injury part plays a big part in cross country, and sometimes it could be shin splints or an ankle injury or any type of injury with running. So you guys are fighting through it and have stayed unbeaten on the year. But when districts come up in just a couple of days, you guys have to be 100%, I'm sure, to try to win that team title.
Oh, in this district, absolutely. I mean, we're just trying to, our district right now with, there's 3 very, very good teams, and our philosophy is kind of just survive and advance, if you will. We're trying to get through the districts, get into the next level. And, to tell you the truth, we won districts last year, and in between districts and states, Hurricane Sandy happened first, Superstorm Sandy, which, some of our kids were without power for the whole week, just about, and then we had one guy break an ankle, and our number 1 runner also, re-aggravated an injury. So, I think districts will be our first time since last district that we roll out a full healthy team. Knock on wood, but it's the entry bug. I mean, and then even you don't know what's going to happen if everyone's going to get some sort of bug comes through the week before districts, or the week of districts, day of. It's not like basketball or football where you can kind of just go in there and gut it out. To an extent you can, but you really have to be healthy. In this district, I mean, we have by the strongest AA district in the state, boys wise. So it's very it's a great opportunity for our kids.
Well, it seems like the tradition over the years, Jeff, that I don't even have to pick the time of which year span. If I could pick any 10 years, it seems 7 out of 10 years it's rainy and cold at districts. It just seems to happen.
Yeah.
Every district cross country meet, so I'm sure this year will be about the same.
Yeah. Seems to be the case.
Let's talk about the girls. A very good year, and tell us about your girl runners there at Scranton Prep and the job that they've been able to do.
They've been running fantastic. I mean, the teams we've lost to have, we lost in dual meets, and I think our girls team is much more built for an invitational than dual meets. We have a very, very tight pack of 5 or 6. Coming on 7 now, and they're not going to go out and beat most teams 1, 2, or maybe even 3, but 9 times out of 10 we'll have 5 in before you have 4 in. So it's just a matter of how much you can get in front of us. And in the races we've lost has been simply because we haven't broke up teams 1, 2, 3. And if in a dual meet, I don't know if you're familiar with dual meet scoring, if they go 1, 2, 3 on you, it's mathematically impossible to beat them. So that's kind of been our downfall this year in the league. But I'm optimistic in the invitational scoring that we're built for an invitational, I believe.
Talking with Jeff Dorunda from Scranton Prep here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. And Jeff, that experience of getting through districts and heading down to states, and that's always a whole different bird down there in Hershey and dealing with the course and what that's all about, and so many fantastic runners. But everybody's got to be healthy and on the same page for you to kind of make any kind of waves. And I'm sure District 2, once again, is looking to make waves both on the girls and the guys' side this year, whether it's individually or as a team, because we have some fantastic runners, as you alluded to earlier in the conversation.
Oh, yeah, it's just absolutely stacked from, you get up to the AAA, and with those super quad A schools, that gets to be a little bit of a different animal. But for the single, but we also have Texas Barrett, so that's another, she's going to hang right in there with in the AAA race. But in the AA race, Dom DeLuca, is the class of Pennsylvania as far as boys AA distance running, I think. And team-wise, us, Dallas, and Tunkhannock, we're very, we're strong. And, you don't know what's going to happen in Hershey, but there's a possibility that the third-place team at our district will have 5 qualifiers, and if they do that, they can score as a team at the state championship meet. So that'd be that doesn't happen often, but it's a possibility. So I think we'll be right in the hunt as a district perspective, from our district, and we have all our cluster meets with Holy Cross girls, and with them and Elk Lake girls, they're probably the top 2 teams in the state. So there's another one right there. So it's going to be an exciting home stretch here, and really can't wait. And we kind of it's as exciting as it is to think about districts and states. Our training has been geared towards those 2 races, but we've kind of just turned our attention there. Now it's we've kept our horizons very short. Just kind of focusing day in and day out on what we need to do, and with the districts and states that in the back of our mind, training wise, but mentally we're going day to day.
Well, Elk Lake has a good team both on the girls and the guys side. It's their home course that's where the district championships are going to be held. They're going to be a contender, and so many other teams. Dallas is very good in the Wyoming Valley Conference this year, Tunkhannock, and I'm sure you're going to see Holy Cross. I mean, there's just teams all over the place that should be extremely competitive. As always, the district championships, it is happening on Wednesday at Elk Lake, so we'll get to see that event. And Jeff Dorunda from Scranton Prep, congratulations on a fantastic regular season, and of course the next couple of weeks will be pretty interesting, and we wish you and the boys and girls from Prep the best of luck.
Thank you. Thanks. Hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.